Hey everybody, we have the Super Bowl set in stone with the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers playing for the second time for the Lombardi in 4 years. And in 2020, we remember that the Kansas City Chiefs beat San Francisco 31-20. Niners carried that 10-point lead into the fourth quarter. So now, and of course, they relinquished that lead. So now the big circus comes to Las Vegas for the first time ever. And I, as a 31-year resident of this town, never thought I would see this day where the Super Bowl would be in Las Vegas, let alone have a team in Las Vegas. So very exciting times. San Francisco opened up as a 2-point favorite with a total of 47.5. The side has ticked down to San Francisco minus 1.5. Across the board now, everybody's at 1.5. So it should be an entertaining game, to say the least. San Francisco, of course, is looking for their sixth ring, while Kansas City is looking for their fourth. Welcome to Against the Public. I'm Dana Lane. We're the only show to analyze early betting patterns by the public, and we've done that again with 3 free NBA plays for Monday, each one going against the public. Before I get to our plays, please go to Pickdawgz.com right now. I have my NBA 3-pack all locked and loaded, $49.99. Gives you every one of my NBA plays for one low price. And of course, this comes with our Pickdawgz win guarantee that states you must profit or receive an immediate site credit for the purchase price. In addition, my all access pass package is loaded up, locked in. This is the time to do it. These next 2 weeks are critical, and the idea is we're going to build that bankroll up over the next 2 weeks and then hit it hard on the Super Bowl and make them a massive amount of money, which is ultimately the goal. And then we'll move on to basketball season, and we'll take that and try to flip that over some more. So that's the goal. 30-day pass is up there, $13.13 a day. 90-day pass, less than $10 a day. And my all-access pass for an entire year is less than $100 a month. And if you need more convincing, well, this is what all-access customers have done of late. And, of course, NBA customers, again, squeezed out another profit yesterday. And that's the NBA is really starting to shine. So you want to make sure that you get involved with that. Over the last 30 days, all access customers are up 1,078 units. It's all documented on Pickdawgz.com on a daily basis. NFL 56% winners this season, good for 1,004 units of profit. 1,143 units of profit over the last 90 days, and 62.1% winners over the last 30 days. So you want to make sure that you stay tuned and get involved for my Super Bowl side and total selection. If you get the 30-day pass, of course you'll get the Super Bowl play, and then you also get my college basketball, NBA, and NHL winners for one low price. And speaking of the NBA, 57.3% winners over the last 30 days after another winning Sunday, 63.2% winners over the last week. So we want to make sure that, gambling is a 365-day-a-year activity. This is just because football season ends does not mean our ability to make money ends. And hopefully you're going to take what you did in the NFL and college football this year, and we're going to jump on the NBA, and we're going to go head first into a league that I typically do pretty well at. So anyway, hopefully that's all that needs to be said. We're 2 weeks away from the biggest game of the year. And I have to say this, every year this is my big PSA announcement. The Super Bowl, and I know what I said earlier, that it's going to be a massive play at the Super Bowl, but I also want you to stay within your bankroll. This is one game. They don't pay you any more to win the Super Bowl. If you want to put a little bit more on it, just for the excitement of the game, I get that. But don't kill your bankroll over one game, especially if this is something that you're in the game every single day, per se. If this is something that, your betting ends at the Super Bowl, well, then maybe, you want to put a little bit more on it. Just say, okay, let's culminate this great season with one more W or 2 more Ws. I get that. But if you do it on an everyday basis, just take it slow, man. It's not... look, you get paid just as much to win an NHL game as you do an NFL game. So just relax on it. And we want to make sure that we build a bankroll all year round. And really, the Super Bowl is just another game. So please keep that in mind. Speaking of the Super Bowl, there are some numbers, and I just wanted to get into this just to kind of stir the opinion some a little bit, to stir the pod, get you kind of thinking about which way you might want to go if you don't choose to go with me or one of our other handicappers. But these are the numbers over the last 20 years. Underdogs are 13-7 ATS plus 5.25 units in that span. Now, Kansas City, as we know, is 2-1 against the spread in their last 3 Super Bowl appearances, and San Francisco is 0-2 in their last 2 Super Bowl appearances. So far, 72% of the money is on the Chiefs, and in the last 3 years, the team with the higher percentage of money bet has dropped all 3 games, and overall, in the postseason, that number is 45, 53, and 2 since 2015. So just a couple things to kind of look at, and of course there's a lot to go through. There's no need to rush this play, but I can tell you this week there's a lot of events here in town, and I'm going to have, look, there's a lot of talented handicappers on this website for sure. I'm going to be in the middle of it. You can guarantee my ear will be wide open, listening and talking to the right people. My, massive amount of contacts that are actually coming to town, which is great. So when I give out that side in total, it is. Usually it's an educated side in total, and I have reasons for everyone. This one will be particular. This will be through the roof. So excited to get involved. And, of course, it kicks off on the 5th here of February when they have the Super Bowl kickoff to the week. And then, of course, at Mandalay Bay, they're going to have the Fan Fest and all that. So I'll be in the middle of all that, and I'm very excited about that. So let's get to your free plays for Monday. We're going to start off 7:30 Eastern Time, game 5:39 and 5:40. Utah Jazz versus the Brooklyn Nets. Nets pick 'em 233.5. And this number opened at 232.5. It was quickly bet up at 233.5. It probably sat there for about 15 minutes or so. That's pretty good news because I was hoping to go against that. And so now we're going to have a much better number. And I would say still wait a little bit because the tickets coming in so far, we see 83% of the tickets on the over, only about 1,700 tickets monitored, but still we kind of get the flavor of where the public is going to go, and perhaps we can even get a better number than 233.5. And for the Jazz, we know that they've been a solid play all year long. This is, and the flip side of that is Brooklyn's been an underplay. So it's really who you think is going to dictate pace and tempo in this game. I think the Nets will be, obviously, they'd be more than happy to play a slower pace. We've seen of their last 3 games, we've seen that come to fruition. They've had 3 straight unders. They've totaled only 204 points on an average over the last 3 games. 6 of the last 9 games have gone under the total, including 5 straight. Their last meeting in Denver ended in a push at 233, depending on the number you got. But it was 233 was a consensus number. But the first half was certainly an underpace with just 113 points scored, and then they kind of went crazy in the second half a little bit. So really, past history in this series says take the under 233.5, which is exactly what we're going to do. In game number 2, Minnesota at Oklahoma City, the Thunder. 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5:45, 5:46 is your rotation number. OKC minus 2.5, 225.5 is your total. And are we not just pure sympathy? Are we not just compelled to take Oklahoma State here? I mean, they lost by 16 to Detroit. They were a 12.5 point road favorite against the Pistons. They gave up 46 points in the second half, or in the second quarter rather, and allowed Detroit to shoot almost 50% from the field. Chet Holmgren was non-existent. I flipped through my DVR in that game, and the save was non-existent. Although that's not to say he didn't play well or play hard. I mean, I had 11, 12 boards on the night, but just A horrible shooting night, 4 for 11 from the field. He was minus 20. His plus minus was minus 20. Finished with just 9 points, which is not exactly what you would expect. You expect him to be in that 17 to 20 range. So a little bit of an off night, really, for OKC. Detroit had a 15 to 4 fast break advantage, had an edge in this game. So no matter how you slice and no matter whatever statistic you look at, Detroit had the advantage for most of the night. And all I can say, all this is to say that this was a look-ahead spot, and we know this matchup against Minnesota is a big matchup. Of course, the winner takes over the top spot in the Western Conference. And I know you guys can say, well, look at Minnesota. They dropped a game against San Antonio. Yeah, a 1-point loss to San Antonio is not the same as a 16-point loss on the road in Detroit. It's just not the same. Detroit's the worst team in the NBA. Spurs are bad, I'll give you that, but they're not nearly as bad as Detroit is. They're clearly the worst team in the NBA. So we're going to take OKC minus 2.5, but get this wager now because I think we're going to see a lot of Thunder money come in. So get it as soon as you can before it gets up to 3.5 or whatever. I don't think it's going to go backwards, but if you can get it at 2.5, jump on that because I think we are going to see a 3. And then game number 3, 9 o'clock Eastern time, 5:51, 5:52, Milwaukee, the Bucks versus the Denver Nuggets. Really good card in the NBA tomorrow. Denver minus 4.5, 239.5. The Bucks are almost an automatic over wager this season. They're 28-18 to the over. 5 overs in their last 8 games, including that game against the Pelicans when they slapped up 141 points. Giannis had 30 points in the game, and Brook Lopez has sometimes he doesn't get talked about, but he was terrific in that game. Definitely their unsung hero in their 24-point win. Denver's the opposite. They're in the middle of a 5-game under streak. But to me, the Bucks are the league's third best shooting team. I feel like I can rely on them. And I know Denver's played, if you look at their record this year, I don't think I feel about that team the way their record is, especially not of late. I started to kind of get in tune with them a little bit, but I just don't think they played as well as their record indicates that they have. And so this to me is advantage Bucks right now. The Bucks are the third best shooting team in the league, just under 50%. They're the second best free throw shooting team, which you guys know how much I love teams that can shoot the free throws well, especially when they're talking about totals and also sides as well. But definitely when we're talking about totals, the Nuggets are good on defense, but I don't think they're good enough to stop Milwaukee from doing what they normally do. I don't think they're going to hold them to a abnormally low amount of points. By the way, Denver is the league's 4th best shooting team from the floor. So I think we're going to look at a very entertaining, high-scoring game that I think is going to heat up as the game progresses. Maybe a first half under. That second half is going to fly over to 239.5. So that's your third play, and that does it for your free plays for Monday. And again, please go to pickdawgz.com. Get involved with my NBA 3-pack. We squeezed more profit into your wallet last night. The NBA is smoking hot, and get all 3 of those plays for $49.99. And of course, that comes with our Pick Dawgz win guarantee. Also, get an all-access pass, and I push these hard because it means the difference between profit sometimes and not. If you choose a sport, which is great, if you choose the NFL and college football this year, you've been golden. NBA, it's been fantastic. But if you get it all, that just means, hey, look, when I'm giving all access records out, that means you've been part of everything. So make sure you're part of everything for the entire 2024. So, some days you're solid in others. We've been really good in the NBA. We had a good run in college basketball, not so good of late. So sometimes that all access pass really gives you every single play where at the end of the day you can say, okay, what's my bottom line to whatever's happened? And that way you're not really susceptible to those streaks to the negative, really, because this game is such an up and down game. So anyway, hope that made sense. Get involved in my all access pass, and I do appreciate every one of you watching. I see all the comments. I don't always have time to comment. It has been, it's so busy of late, but I do see all the comments. I do appreciate the comments, pro and con, and anything that you guys have up there. I appreciate it. So let me give you our free winners one more time. Utah, Brooklyn under 233.5. OKC minus 2.5. Milwaukee, Denver over 239.5. So that does it for today's show. Thank you to everyone who allows this video to continue to grow and hits the like and subscribe button. I definitely appreciate it, and we appreciate you watching every single day. So that does it for the show. I'm Dana Lane. All the best to you and your wagers on Monday.